So I've got to trim this down, got to cut along this seam right here, and new metal will be welded in. This piece actually up here will fit in this spot right here. So here's what we got. That piece will be installed and replace this rusty one once this piece, which I just cut room for, is welded in. So much better working indoors where the sun's not out. So this quarter panel is looking much better. I gotta add more filler here. This was flexing and I fixed that. And then I had to re-clean the top of this down to metal all the way over. So tomorrow I'll be working on this rear quarter panel. Hopefully finish that up. Hopefully get some poly primer and primer on this in the next couple days. And then I've got to start cutting metal. These have to be cut. These are the welds. You got to clean all those up on each side. So progress. The old BG 241. Rain, but had to put the spare tire holder back in. It's loose, but since this metal's new, we were welding, it expanded and there's a bit of a high point here. So I've got to cut this metal a straight line and release that pressure, and then this will find its way and this will be flat like it should be. So coming along. Working on the other side today. I got to get this down to metal. A lot of work over here. And then this was done. So this new metal now is from the old donor truck, but that's in place. It's been welded in. And gotta fix that seam right there, get it ready for bed liner. And basically strip every amount of paint off this side. A lot of work, but all the paint is off. This has got to be hit with poly to protect the metal. And then we got to do some metal work, straighten out the metal. Obviously there's some places that need to be pushed out. And then Bondo, and then Bondo, and then Bondo. Not that it's going to be real thick, but every time you put it on, it gets a little straighter. All the minor nicks and dents and dings. All right, so here's an update. This is the bed. It's indoors, it's cooler. This rear end has been taken care of. This is the tailgate here under this. Gonna need a lot of work. We may go patina on this only, which should be kind of neat. The bed needs to be cleaned out, basically wire brush. We're gonna hit it with bed liner. So I'm gonna try to do that today. This side over here has been put in primer. It looks real good. So effectively it's done. We're gonna have to do more work before it gets paint, but obviously it's in the final stage before paint. This side over here is the side that I stripped just recently in the video you just saw. All the paint's off. It's got some metal that needs some work, but it'll look just dandy when we're done. This is the piece that goes between, connects to the bed and sits against the cab. Cab would be over here. This will be the bed. And as you can see, it's taken shape. All this is new metal from the donor truck. That seam is barely recognizable. It'll be less recognizable once there is bed liner. And that seam right there is the piece of metal that we put in because the bed was basically destroyed on this side, and that came from a donor vehicle also. So now we work. Well, things are coming along within about 3 hours. The interior of the bed has been wire brushed entirely, and that's basically ready for bed liner. I went ahead and hit rust killer. We're going to do patches here, but there's rust behind these future patches, so that's all being neutralized. Hit the beam. Let's see if I can show it. This side beam right here goes under the light here. That's all cleaned up. That'll be blue. Haven't touched this side yet, even though it is basically ready. We're gonna have to add some heat to this area and pull this out. And a lot of the metal has been straightened out. This I'm gonna wait until it's on the truck, and once it's bolted down, I'll be able to get more leverage on that. But this is looking real good. You can't tell, other than color, that this portion is new as compared to that portion of the bed. This is from the donor. Some metal straightened out. We're gonna try like heck to put that piece on today, and we're gonna try to put epoxy primer on this, so that way Monday I can start working on the exterior body and getting things ready for paint. And then all that's left, I say all that's left, is said tailgate. And this might be neat. We may keep the tailgate and basically make it patina once the metal work's done. You can see we've been working on putting a different type of hinge in. It'll look like the original, but it'll be a lot more heavy. It's an old water pipe that we're welding in. So lots to do. Okay, the primer, epoxy primer's on. This protects the metal. And it'll look dramatically different in a few days. This is the first primer, goes over the metal, and then the body filler starts going on. Once the body filler's on, put primer on, regular primer. Right now I've got to add some caulking. That's next. And we got the caulking in, so basically that'll be sealed once the bed liner goes on, and it'll look really, really good. That's the black stuff in between the seams. A lot of this came actually from the factory that way, way back when. And these days, this stuff is used still. That's some stuff we already did. The black stuff is the new stuff. Good news. Got that rear piece on that goes between the bed and the cab, and it fits just perfect. Hard to believe, really. Gotten to this point. So that needs to be welded in. Right now it's got screws just holding it in place. That'll be welded tomorrow. And first layer of Bondo on the side of this puppy. So, got an active week, but this won't look like an Adobe house. It'll look like a car as soon as we can knock down this first coat of Bondo. Very, very productive weekend. Show you the front of this thing real quick. Show you the front from the rear. Bed's coming together. This will all be bed liner, as I've said a couple times. And that's good news because it'll hide a lot of the history of the bed and waterproof it.